the 18th of April 2026, Saturday morning. Common Buddhist text, guidance and insight from the Buddha. The chief editor of this book is Maha Dhammakosachan. We are in chapter 4, and we're going to be reading on society and human relationship, THERAVＡDA, good governance. On society and human relationship, the principles of good governance that ensue the stability of the state. This passage describes the way the Vijis ran their society. They were known to have a republican political system different from what had been the widely prevalent monarchical system of India during the time of Buddha in ancient Bharat. Buddhist literary sources speak very highly of the Vijayans' system of governance, which had many democratic features. Gautama Buddha's own adherence to similar principles is seen as the system of monastic administration established by him, which leaves no room for authoritative individual leadership. This makes arrangements for a consensual system of administration. The passage is delivered to the emissary of a king who wished to conquer the Vijis, pointing out their strengths which made them differ to conquer. At that time, Venerable Ananta was standing behind Gautama, the Blessed One, fanning him, and the Blessed Gautama addressed Venerable Ananta. What have you heard, Ananta? Do the Vijis meet together regularly and have frequent meetings? Sir, I have heard that the Vijis meet together regularly. So long, Ananta, as the Vajis meet together regularly, the growth of the Vajis is to be expected, not their decline. The Vajis will also grow and not decline if they continue to meet in unity and disperse in unity and attend to their affairs in concord. Neither enact laws that are not already enacted, nor break ones that are already enacted, but proceed in accordance with their ancient Vijayanian principles of justice, are hospitable, respect, honor, venerate their Vijayanian elders, and think it worthwhile to listen to them. Refrain from abducting women and maidens of good families and oppressing them. Are hospitable, respect, honor, and venerate their shrines, both those within the city and those outside of it, and do not fail in making the due offerings made to them formerly. Provide righteous watch, word of protection to the arihats, so those who have not come to the realm of realization might do so, and those who have already come might live there at ease. And the Blessed Gautama addressed the Hindu Brahmin Vasakara. Once Hindu Brahmin, I dwelt in Vesali at the Sarantata shrine. There I taught the Vajis. These 7 conditions stand to the prevention of their decline. So long, Hindu Brahmin, as these 7 principles conducted to the non-decline remain and prevail amongst the Vijis. Their growth is to be expected, not their decline. This can be cited from the Mahaparinibbana Sutra, Dikha Nikaya, translated from page 73 to 75, or volume 73 to 75. Corrupt leadership and its adverse consequence for society and nature. This passage that shows a connection between the ethical conduct of humans and the changes that occur in the natural environment. The Dhamma, as the natural order, is disrupted by unrighteous actions that go against the Dhamma as right ethical order. The passage draws attention to the responsibility of a land leadership in maintaining moral standards in society through setting an example to rest of the society. Bhikkhu monks, at the time when the king are unrighteous, the royal servicemen too become unrighteous. When the royal servicemen become unrighteous, the Brahmin householders too become unrighteous. When the Brahmin householders become unrighteous, those in the townships and province too become unrighteous. When those in the townships and province become unrighteous, the moon and the sun move unevenly. When the moon and the sun move unevenly, the stars and the constellation move unevenly. When the stars and the constellations move unevenly, the night and the day occur unevenly. When the day and night occur unevenly, the fortnights and the months become uneven. When the fortnights and the months become uneven, the seasons of the year become uneven. When the seasons in the year become uneven, winds blow unevenly and in the wrong direction. When the wind blow unevenly and in the wrong direction, the deities become disturbed. When the deities become disturbed, the sky does not bring proper rainfall. When there is no proper rainfall, the grains ripen unevenly. When humans eat unevenly ripened grains, their lifespan is shortened. They lose their beauty and power and are struck by many ailments. Bhikkhu monks, at the time when the kings are righteous, the opposite of the above happens. When the cattle are crossing a waterway, if the leading bull goes crooked, all of them go crooked, as the leading one has gone crooked. So even so, among humans, if the one considered the chief, the head of them, behaves unrighteously, all the rest will follow suit. If the king is unrighteous, the whole country rests unhappily. When the cattle are crossing a waterway, if the leading bull goes straight, all of them go straight, as the leading one has gone straight. Even so, among humans, if one considered the chief, the leader, indeed lives righteously, all the rest follow suit. If the king is righteous, the whole country rests happily. This can be cited from the Attamika Sutra, Anakuttraya Nikaya, Volume 2. Noble duties and moral qualities of Sakhavati monarch. This passage are on the idea of a Sakhavati. The meaning of this is the great willing turning monarch who rules, turns influence over all India. This is presented in the Buddhist canon, in the Tipitaka, with a view to provide a sound ethical basis for political life of society. Since authority was greatly concentrated in a single person in the monarchical system of government, they widely prevalent at that time, Buddhism sought to address the situation by introducing the concept of the monarch who gave up the ambition of the military conquest and ruled according to the Dhamma in the sense of righteous, ethical, and just principles. The second passage emphasizes that the secular authority of the ruler should always be subject to such principles. Once, Bhikkhu monks, there was a Sakhavati monarch named Dharmini, a righteous person, a righteous king, conqueror of the four quarters, who had achieved the stability of his realm and was possessed of 7 treasures. He lived having conquered this earth, extending all sides to the ocean without resort to the rod and sword, but through Dhamma and justice. Then monks, the king Dharmini, after many years, after many hundreds of years, duty installed his eldest son in kingship, shaving off the hair and beard, donned the yellow robes of a monk, and went forth from the household life to become a homeless renunciant, a mendicant. When 7 days pass after the royal sage has gone forth, the heavenly will treasure disappeared. Then a certain person went up to the king of the royal class, who was anointed as king, and said, "Look here, Lord. Do you know what heavenly will treasure has disappeared?" The royal sage, and to the anointed king, said, "My son, do not be worried and experience displeasure, as the heavenly will treasure has disappeared. The heavenly will treasure is not paternal inheritance of yours. It's not a paternal inheritance of yours. Now, my son, you must keep the noble duties of the Sakawati monarch. It is possible that the 15th day of the moon, the day of righteous observance, when you have bathed your feet, made the righteous observances, and attended to the upper story of the palace, the heavenly will treasure would appear. What, Lord, is the noble duty of the Sakawati monarch? My son, depending on the Dhamma itself. Honoring Dhamma, paying respect to the Dhamma, esteeming the Dhamma, worshiping the Dhamma, verdimating the Dhamma, having the Dhamma as the flag, having Dhamma as the banner, having Dhamma as the authority. You should provide righteous watch, ward the protection to the people in the royal household, the troops, and those who are ruling class, the other subjects who are Brahmins, householders of the townships and province, the renunciants and Brahmins, and to the beasts and birds. Let there be not within your territory one who acts in an unrighteous manner. Whoever in your territory may be poor, grant them wealth. Whoever in your territory are renunciants and Brahmins that refrain from intoxication and heedlessness, establish in patience and gentleness, some who discipline themselves, some who calm themselves, some who bring themselves to Nipita, Nibbana, Nirvana. Go to them from time to time and ask them the question, "Sir, what is wholesome? What is unwholesome? What is blameworthy? What is blameless? What should be practiced? What should not be practiced? By my doing what will conduce to my harm and suffering for a long time, and doing what will be conducive to my well-being and happiness for a long time. Having heard them, whatever is unwholesome, you should especially avoid it. You should observe, live like whatever is wholesome. This, my son, is the noble duty of the Sakawati monarch." "All right, Lord," said the anointed king, the royal class, to the royal sage. He fulfilled the duties of the noble Sakawati monarch. Fulfilling the noble duties of the Sakawati monarch on the 15th day of the religious observance, bathing his head, making himself undertake the religious observance, then he is ascended to the great upper story of the palace. The heavenly will appeared. This is from the Sakawati Sila Nanda Sutra, Dika Nikaya. Monks, whoever be the righteous Sakawati monarch, he too does not turn the wheel without a ruler. When this was said, a certain monk said to the blessed Gautama, "Venerable sir, who is the ruler of the righteous Sakawati monarch that rules righteously?" The Blessed One said, "Monks, it is the Dhamma." This is quoted from the Dhamma Raja Sutra, Anaputara Nikaya. Peace, violence, and crime. Poverty and disparity is a wealth as the cause of social unrest and breakdown of morality in society. This narrative shows the relationship between morality and the economic conditions of people. It points out to the major causes of the gradual deterioration of morality is poverty, economic disparity, and destitution. It shows that it is through a revival of moral standards, and social and prosperous social order can be restored. It is presented initially as a tale of a distant past, but then it extends into the distant future, when the next Buddha, the Maitreya, the kingly one, will come. Through such a future golden age will it itself decline in time. It includes the idea that human lifespans fluctuates in proportion with overall morality. When the king made them all assemble and questioned them about the noble duties of the Sakkawati monarch, they disclosed to them, having heard from them, he made arrangements for the righteous watch, ward the protections of the citizens and animals, but did not provide wealth to those deprived of it. When wealth was not provided to those deprived of it, poverty became rife. When poverty became rife, a certain person took what was not given, committed what was not considered to be theft. They arrested him and brought him before the king. Reporting the matter to him, the king questioned him and whether that he had committed theft. And he said, "Yes, Lord, it is true." The king asked why he did so. And he said, "Lord, I have no means of living." Then the king provided him wealth and told him, "Look here, my man. With this wealth, sustain yourself, feed your parents, wife, and children, invest it in industry, make gifts to renunciants and Brahmins, which will be a reward, having pleasant consequences conducive to heavenly rebirth." That man replied, "All right, Lord." Another person too committed theft. The king provided him also with wealth, monks. The people heard, "Whoever takes things belonging to others without being given to them and commit what is considered to be theft, to them the king provides the wealth." Having heard this, it occurred to them who also should take what is not given and commits what is considered to be theft. Then a certain person committed theft. They arrested him and took him before the king. This idea occurred to the king. If I keep providing wealth to everyone who commits theft, in this way thefts will increase. I should punish him with proper punishment. I should cut him off at the root. I should cut off his head. So the king commanded his men, "Bind the man with strong ropes, with his arms behind him, shave his head, lead him through the streets and junction to the rough sounds of the beat of a drum. Take him out through the southern gate and to the south of the city. Give him proper punishment. Cut off all the root, chop off his head." They bound him with strong ropes, cut off his head. People heard that whoever commits theft, his head is chopped off, and thought, we should also make sharp weapons. We should effectively eliminate those who things we steal, so they cannot witness against us. Cut them off at the root, cut off his head. They made sharp weapons, attempted to murder people in the villages, townships, and cities. They attempted to commit highway robbery. They effectively eliminated those who things they stole, cut them off at the root, cut off their heads. In this way, monks, when those deprived of wealth were not being provided with wealth, poverty became rife. When poverty became rife, stealing increased. When stealing increased, weapons increase. When weapons increase, destruction of life increase. When the destruction of life increased, the lifespan of those living beings waned. Their beauty also waned. When they were waning in their lifespans and the beauties, their sons of men who had the lifespans of 80,000 years came to a lifespan of 40,000 years. Further declines in morality, consequent reduction in human lifespans are then described. There will be a time, monks, when the children of these people will be a half-life of 10 years. The 10 courses of wholesome conduct will completely disappear. The 10 courses of unwholesome conduct will excessively prevail. For those of 10 years lifespan, even the word wholesome would not be there. How could there be a doer of wholesome deeds among the people of 10 years lifespans? There will be intense mutual anger, intense malice, intense eventuous or envious thoughts, intense thoughts of killing, even of the mother towards children. For people of 10 years lifespan, there will be weapons. Period of 7 days, they will pierce each other's breasts. Sharp weapons would appear in their hands. And with those sharp weapons, they will kill each other, saying, "This is a beast. This is a beast." Then monks, the idea will occur to some of the people who's among those beings. Let us not kill anymore. Let us not anyone kill us. Let us resort to grassy thickets, forest thickets, places covered thickly with trees, inaccessible rivers, uneven mountains, live on roofs and fruits of trees. They will do so at the end of 7 days. They will come out of those resorts and rejoice and console each other, hugging one another, saying, "We see good things who survived. We see good beings who survived." Then the thoughts will occur to those beings, it was due to our pursuit of unwholesome practices that such wide destruction of our relatives occurred. We should practice wholesome acts. What wholesome practices should we adopt? We should abstain from the destruction of life. We should live observing this wholesome practice. They will observe this wholesome practice. Due to observing the wholesome practice, their lifespan will increase. When people are, again, of a lifespan of 80,000 years, the Varanasi will be a kingdom known as the Kutumati, prosperous and plentiful in food. The king named Sankha will be born, a Sakavati monarch, a righteous king guided by the Dharma. Then the blessed Buddha named Maitreya will be born in the world, an Arihat, perfectly awakened Buddha, like myself, born here at this time. This is cited at the Sakavati Silananta Sutta, Dika Nikaya. Responsibility of the state to ensure the economic well-being of its citizen. This passage illustrates the skillful way in which Gautama Buddha taught and conveys the message that poverty leads to social disruption. A wise ruler should act to prevent this. The setting is that the Brahmin Kuttadanta, who wishes to offer a great sacrifice, goes to the Buddha, as he has heard audibly that the Buddha can advise on how to conduct a sacrifice. Gautama Buddha gave his advice by way of following story of a prosperous king who wished to conduct a great service to ensure his future well-being and happiness, and who asked his Brahmin chaplain, "How do you do this?" Thereupon the Brahmin chaplain said to the king Mahavichita, "Sir, your Majesty's country is beset with problems and oppression. Dacoits who pillage the villages, townships, the cities, and highway robbers are to be seen. When the country is beset with problems and oppression, if the king were to levy a tax, your Majesty would be doing what ought not to be done. It might occur to your Majesty, I'll eradicate the strong body of robbers by inflicting execution, imprisonment, deprivation, degradation, and banishment. But the strong body of the robbers cannot be satisfactorily eradicated in that manner. The remainder left after execution will still go on harassing your Majesty's realm. However, by adopting this action plan, this obstruction of rebels will be satisfactorily eradicated. Therefore, Your Majesty, whosoever there will be in Your Majesty's realm, making an effort to engage in agricultural and animal husbandry, to them let His Majesty the King give food and seed corn. Whoever there be in Your Majesty's realm, making an effort to engage in trade, to him let Your Majesty the King provide capital. Whoever there be in Your Majesty's realm, making an effort to engage in royal service, to them let Your Majesty the King give wages and food. To those men engaging each in his own business, no longer harass the realm, the king's retinue will go up. The country will be secure and not beset with problems and oppression. The people pleased, happily dancing their children in their arms, will dwell with open doors. King Mahavitita accepted the word of his chaplain and did as he had said. Those men engaged such in the business harassed the king's realm no more. The king's retinue went up. The country was secure, not beset with problems and oppressions. The people being pleased and happy, dancing their children in their arms, dwelt with open doors. This can be cited in the Kutanta Sutra, Dika Nikaya. The causes of social and family conflict. The first of these passages highlights envy and miserlessness, the cause of ill will, the conflict in communities, whether human or divine, such of those of a Naga snake deity, the Gandharva heavenly musicians. The second highlights the detachment to sensual pleasures as the cause of conflict. Sir, due to what feathers do gods, humans, Nagas, Gandharvas, and whatever other different communities there are, in spite of the thought, let us live without hatred, without taking sticks, without enmity, without malice, free from hate. Live with hatred, taking sticks, with enmity, with malice, not free from hatred. So did Sakat, the king of the gods, question the Blessed One. When so questioned, the blessed Gautama explained to him thus: it is due to being fretted by envy and miserlessly that the gods, humans, live with hatred, taking sticks with enmity. Sakka Panta Sutra Dika Nikaya. Further, Bhikkhu monks with kama gunas, sensual pleasures, are the cause and the source and the biases, the cause being simply sensual pleasures. King dispute with kings, people with the ruling class with people with the ruling class, Brahmins with Brahmins, householders with householders, mothers dispute with son, the son with mother, the father with son, the son with father, brother with brother, brother with sister, sister with brother, friend with friend. They dispute, quarrel, argue, fight each other with hands, clods, sticks, weapons. Therein they meet with death, and they also deadly pain. This can be quoted in the Maha Dukkha Khanda Sutra, Michima Nikaya. War, peace, and reconciliation. This pair of passages shows armed conflicts to being frustration and further conflicts, especially if one is not magnanimous in victory in the first. The Buddha comments and reports to the king Ajata Sakku had attacked King Basanadi, who had withdrawn in defeat. Monks, King Anjasattu of Maga has evil friends, evil associates, and evil companions. King Pasanadi Kosala had good friends, good associates, and good companions. Tonight, the defeated king, Pasenadi Kosala, will lie unhappily. Victory breeds enmity. Defeat lie unhappily. The ones at peace lies happily, making up victory and defeat. When many monks came to the blessed Gautama, paid respect to him, and Anjali sat on one side and said, Venerable Sir, King Ajasusattu of Magala addressed toward Kasi the battle against King Pasenati Kosala. The king Pasani Kosala defeated King Ajatasattu the Maga and captured him alive. Then this thought occurred to the king of Kosala, even though the king of Maga betrays me, who does not betray him. He is my nephew. What if I were to capture his entire array of elephants, horses, chariots, and foot soldiers, and dismantle him alive? The king of Kosala captured the entire array of elephants, horses, chariots, and foot soldiers, and dismiss him alive. The Blessed One, having understood the situation, uttered these verses on that occasion. A person plunders indeed in the way he thinks fit. When others plunder, the plunderer too plunder. The fool thinks it is all right until evil bears fruit. When evil bears fruit, the fool comes to sorrow. The killer gets in turn a killer. The victor in turn will get a victor. He that abuses in turn will get abused, and the offender an offender in turn. So with the action that comes around, the plundered one plunders. This is from the first and the second Sangama Sutra, Samyutta Nikaya. I'm going to leave off there today, and we will pick up on the next one on the power of patience and non-anger, Theravada tradition. Common Buddhist text, guidance and insight from the Buddha.